And we are back. Roll up, everybody. Gather, come and join. One man went to mow. The session is back on. So the session has commenced, and your company required. Gather, come and join me as we spend the next however long this session lasts together. That thing that we do round about this time, we're doing it. That thing that we do round about this time, we are doing it again. So your company is required. So gather, come and join. One man went to mow. The eagle has landed.
Only water, only water, where they see ma. Water, only water, where they see ma. Hapa o naido. Hapa you don't come o. Hapa o naido. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù yé o. Ilé sọ́díyà kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù ré o. Bobby master kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù ré o. Chief Wáìlà tí kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù ré o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù dé. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù dòde ojàre o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́ọ̀dì o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Olúyẹ̀lá ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosonama ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosodunke ẹyẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀ ilé o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀. Ikú kò ní rí wa gbéṣe o.
And there we are. Iku Koniriwa Agbeshe, the Kegites. Iku Koniriwa Agbeshe, powerful and potent prayers. So quite pertinent as well to this narrative, of course. We say Iku Koniriwa Agbeshe, but certainly did Iku Riwa Agbeshe at Lekki Tollgate? Guys, I bring you this. Lekki shooting. Army officer who ordered shooting. No, actually, let me leave this to the latter part. So let me just move that further back. Okay, let's start it from this. From this spot. Army police massacred defenseless protesters at Lekki Tollgate. So that is now categorical and factual. It is a panel set up by the government that is damning their own administration. So this is not Amnesty International. This is not DJ Swift. This is not them say. Again, army police massacred defenseless protesters at Lekki Tollgate. A categorical statement made by a panel set up by the government to probe Lekki Tollgate. So there you are. Lagos panel recommends renaming Lekki Tollgate to NSAS Tollgate, apologizing to protesters. So I'm not quite sure if apology is the closure on a massacre. It's not apology, it's people being put before the courts in The Hague. That is the next step now that this has been established. Nigerian soldiers killing of NSAS protesters at Lekki Tollgate was a massacre. Still within that space, Lagos State Judicial panel. So a lot of this session will be spent within the NSAS space, as you probably already gathered. Hashtag NSAS panel report. May God judge Lai Mohammed, Buhari apologist, and Buhari apologist. DEJI ADEYANJU quickly move into the space to lambast. And now to that story that I was wanting to read out first, but will come last in the narrative around that answer space. So let me just, I was being careful not to click on it to close it off. So Lekki Tollgate shooting. Army officer who ordered shooting rejects Lagos panel as summon. So this throw back to a story that was in December last year, but it comes forward now because of its relevance to this now space. And to round it all off for this session, Nigerian judge NYAKO is partial and must recuse herself from Nnamdi Kanu's trial. So that rounds off the space. So all of that to come. So just bear with me. Just gonna check something quickly. So all of that to come, but we're coming now via the traditional space that we are now coming in as intros to the session. We come in via the Eastern Quarters and another Python dance. Another Python dance.
IPOB omeriwo n'izu oniro ya abakare mama daura olabori meri Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Olabori meri Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Python dance 3. Unabori meri Nnamdi bụ onye du IPOB. O meriwo n'izu ndiro ya. Abakare mamanda ụra. Unabori meri Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unabori meri Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unabori meri Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unabori meri Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unabori meri Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unabori meri Nnamdi.
And there we are. Nnamdi Mati win the war. Python dance, Python dance. Nnamdi Mati win the war. Python dance, Python dance. Nnamdi Mati win the war. As guys, I bring you this. Army police massacred defenseless protesters at Lekki Tollgate. A headline attributed to a panel. The Judicial Panel of Inquiry set up by Lagos State has said that officers and soldiers of 65 Battalion of the Nigerian Army, led by Lieutenant Colonel Bello and men of Nigeria Police Force, directly. So these are in quotation marks now. These next 3 words that you hear are in quotation marks. So we're quoting verbatim from the panel. So directly and pointedly shot and killed protesters at Lekki Tollgate on October the 20th, 2020. So this is what a panel set up by the government to probe what happened at Lekki Tollgate is reporting back about their own government. I'll take it all over again just so it resonates and it sinks in. So this, by the way, what a panel set up by the government is saying about what the government has done. The Judicial Panel of Inquiry set up by Lagos State has said that officers and soldiers of 65th Battalion of the Nigerian Army, led by Lieutenant Colonel Bello and men of Nigeria Police Force, directly and pointedly shot and killed peaceful protesters at the Lekki Tollgate on October the 20th, 2020. So that is it. Correspondents cited the report indicting the Lagos state government, Nigerian army, and police in the death of defenseless youths at Lekki Tollgate and an attempt to cover it up. The report uncovered that army officers were deployed to the toll gate on October the 20th, 2020, with blank and live ammunition to confront peaceful protesters holding national flags. It added that live bullets were shot directly and pointedly amidst defenseless members of the civil populace, youth and young adults, to assault, maim, and kill. Nigerian police shot and killed protesters at the Lekki Tollgate waterfront after the soldiers left Lekki Tollgate, the panel further stated. The Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry and Restitution on Lekki Tollgate shooting incident and cases of police brutality had on Monday submitted the report to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. After 1 year, Nigerian youths accused the government of massacring peaceful protesters at the Lekki Tollgate. On October the 20th, 2020, the NSAS panel in the report said it discovered that cases of death, massacre, and injured protesters were credible and uncontroverted. The soldiers were also nailed for turning back ambulances that were invited to render first aid and assistance to the wounded protesters. The Judicial Panel of Inquiry concluded that what happened at Lekki Tollgate on October the 20th, 2020 was a massacre, considering that protesters were defenseless members of the civil populace, youth and young adults, which both the Lagos state government and indeed the federal government were aware of their status and indeed the federal government were aware of their status, objectives, and the nature of their protest. The panel added that the presence of protesters at the Lekki Toll Gate did not threaten the territorial integrity of Nigeria and could not be considered as a civil insurrection to warrant the intervention of the Nigerian army. So the Nigerian soldiers, according to the report, took one of the protesters for dead, Olalekan Sanusi, escaped and narrated that 11 corpses were in the van, which was placed and presumed dead. It was alleged and corroborated that the soldiers had their vans parked at the Lekki Toll Gate and removed as many bodies and corpses of the fallen protesters, which they took away with their vans. Another eyewitness, Miss Dabira Ayuku, told the panel that she saw about 7 dead bodies placed in one of the military trucks at the Lekki Toll Gate on the night of the 20th of October 2020. The panel revealed that there are abundant evidence in its possession indicating that the Lagos State Waste Management Authority effectively cleaned up the Lekki Tollgate scene immediately after the incident of October the 20th, 2020. The panel disclosed that 3 trucks with brushes underneath were brought to the scene of the massacre in the morning of October the 21st to clean up the scene of the bloodstains and other evidence. It further revealed that several unidentified bodies were removed by security personnel and Lagos State Environmental Health Monitoring Unit and deposited at various hospital mortuaries in Lagos State. The panel uncovered that most NSAS protesters and victims of the Lekki Tollgate incident of the 20th of October 2020 were largely unwilling to be identified in public for fear of persecution or harassment by the security agencies and the government in general. Immediately after the protest, there was palpable fear that the army and police were visiting hospitals to finish up the protesters to the extent that some of them could not return home immediately. Some of the protesters received threats and some were being trailed by unknown persons. So there you are, categorical now, a panel set up by Lagos state government, a key component of the Buhari administration, has told us now categorically and factually with evidence that there was a Lekki Tollgate massacre. They used the word massacre and they qualified that by saying that the Nigerian army, led by a Fulani officer, Lieutenant Colonel S.O. Bello, directed his men and they directly and pointedly shot at the protesters as they waved the national flag. So categorical now, there's no equivocation anymore. Factually, we know what happened. Lagos panel recommends renaming of Lekki Tollgate to NSAS Tollgate, apologizing to protesters. The Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry has recommended that the Lekki Tollgate be made a memorial site by renaming it to the NSAS Tollgate. Recall that the panel submitted the report on the Lekki shooting incident and police brutality cases to the state government on Monday. The panel, led by a retired judge, Doris Okuwobi, submitted the report at the governor's office in Alausa, Ikeja. The panel recommended that October the 20th be made NSAS Nationality Day in commemoration of the victims of the incident, adding that the day should also be made a toll-free day at the toll gate. The panel also suggested that there should be a monument memorializing the lives lost and those injured at the Lekki toll gate with the names inscribed in the monument. However, it is not clear where it should be situated. It also requested that the federal government publicly apologize to the youth for abruptly undermining the protest with their state actors. The panel recommended the establishment of a special trust fund for compensation of the victims and ensuring justice is served and seen to be served for accelerated healing to win the peace and build public trust. A part of the recommendation reads, the panel recommends that the Lekki Tollgate Plaza be made a memorial site for NSAS protest by renaming to NSAS Tollgate. The panel recommended that October the 20th of every year, the day is made a toll-free day at the Lekki Tollgate as long as the tollgate exists, that October the 20th of every year be made NSAS Day nationally for the remembrance of our fallen youth, that for the purpose of restitution, healing, and reconciliation, the federal government needs to publicly apologize to the youths for abruptly undermining the protest with their state actors. The government should do all it can to bridge the gap of distrust with the youth. A monument memorializing the lives lost and those injured at the Lekki toll gate with names inscribed on the monument. So those are the recommendations of the panel. Nigerian soldiers killing of NSAS protesters at Lekki toll gate was a massacre. Lagos Judicial Panel. The manner of the unprovoked and unjustifiable killing of unarmed and peaceful #EndSARS protesters at the Lekki Tollgate on October the 20th, 2020 was a massacre, says the Lagos State Judicial Panel. At the Lekki toll gate, officers of the Nigerian Army shot, injured, and killed unarmed, helpless, and defenseless protesters without provocation or justification while they were waving the national flag and singing the national anthem, and the manner of the assault and killing could be, in context, be described as a massacre. So it is a massacre. This is the government itself saying this, that they massacred the people. Not, I was going to say they massacred their people, but of course, they are not their people. You know, Malam Buhari doesn't consider you to be his people. His people, we all know who his people are. The panel said in its report, this damning verdict was published after the panel's more than a year investigation into the allegations of abuses and human rights violation of the defunct Special Anti-Robbery Squad SARS, which was extended to cover the event of the 9th of October 20th, 2020. During the Lekki Massacre's first anniversary, Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed had described the massacre as a phantom and the first massacre in the world without blood or bodies. The report submitted to the Lagos State government by the panel shows that there were blood and bodies of massacred protesters, revealing that the Nigerian soldiers stole the corpses and wiped clean the crime scene to hinder further investigation by the panel. The investigation also found that the soldiers' unprovoked violence against the protesters was worsened by soldiers' refusal to allow ambulances to provide medical treatment to the victims who needed it. The panel matter of factly said the army grossly violated its own rules of engagement, despite shreds of evidence submitted by eyewitnesses and credible organizations, including forensic pathologist from Lagos State Hospital, John Obafunwa, who presented autopsy reports of 99 bodies, 3 recovered from the toll gate. President Buhari's regime repeatedly denied there was a massacre on that night after the Nigerian soldiers unleashed war-grade violence on the protesters, killing several of them. The Nigerian police force took over from them and continued the unprovoked, wanton violence. The police killed more protesters as they fled into shanties and Lekki Phase 1 for sure close to the Lekki toll gate. Both the army and the police denied firing shots at the protesters, asserting that only shots fired were into the air to scare off the unarmed protesters. The military chiefs under whom the heinous crime were committed have the military chiefs under whom the heinous crimes were committed have had non-career ambassadorship conferred upon them, which Nigerians condemn as an attempt to shield the ex-military leader, which Nigerians condemn as an attempt to shield the ex-military leaders from prosecution by the International Criminal Court. So we'll find out soon enough if that is sufficient enough to shield them from prosecution. Our NSAS panel report, may God judge Lai Mohammed and Buhari apologist, DEJI Adeyanju speaking. Human rights activist DEJI Adeyanju has taken a swipe at Nigeria's Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, who claimed that there was no evidence of killing at Lekki Tollgate in Lagos. The minister had repeatedly said at various press conferences that there were no proof that any protester was killed at the Lekki Tollgate in Lagos State on October 2020. On October 20th, 2020, some soldiers reportedly opened fire on protesters in an attempt to disperse them, but some were allegedly killed and wounded in the attack. The protesters were calling on the authorities to scrap the now defunct Special Anti-Robbery Squad SARS over cases of brutality, harassment, extortion, and extrajudicial killing. Reacting to the development, ADEYANJU said God will judge all those who claimed people were not killed at Lekki Tollgate on October the 20th, 2020. He wrote on Twitter, News, 11 peace protesters killed, 4 missing, and now presumed dead. Lagos State hashtag NSAS report. Now that the panel set up by the government has listed the peaceful protesters killed by the army at Lekki Tollgate, may God judge Lai Mohammed and all Buharists who lied that nobody was killed there. Addressing a press conference in Abuja recently, the minister, Mohammed, had described the event at the toll gate as a phantom massacre. He had said, 1 year later, and despite ample opportunities for the families of those allegedly killed and those alleging a massacre to present evidence, there has been none. No bodies, no families, no convincing evidence, nothing. Where are the families of those who were reportedly killed at the Lekki Tollgate? Did they show up at the judicial panel of inquiry? If not, why? He also faulted a claim by Amnesty International that no fewer than 12 protesters were killed in Lagos State by security operatives during the NSAS protest. Mohammed also asked the cable news network CNN, DJ Switch, amongst others, to apologize for misleading the world that there was a massacre at the Lekki Tollgate and for portraying the Nigerian military, police, and other security agencies in a bad light. However, on Monday, the Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry on Restitution for Victims of NSAS related of on restitution for victims of SARS-related abuses and other matters in a report said the atrocious killing of unarmed protesters at Lekki Tollgate can be equated to a massacre. In the report titled Report of Lekki Incident Investigation of the 20th of October 2020, a copy of which was cited by correspondents, the panel said at least 48 protesters were either shot dead, injured with bullet wounds, or assaulted by soldiers who stormed the Lekki Tollgate on October the 20th, 2020. So there you are. So that is the epithet of the Buhari administration, bloodshed. Lekki Tollgate will be the totality of the memory of Buhari if there is any memory of him. So Lekki Tollgate is essentially the summation of the 8 years of Buhari that we would have suffered by by February 2023. Lekki shooting. Army officer who ordered shooting rejects Lagos panel summon. So this is now the Fulani officer that ordered the open fire. He, of course, just being the man on the ground. The open fire really would have come from Abuja. A lieutenant colonel of the 81st Division of the Nigerian Army, S.O. Bello, who led the team involved in the October the 20th Lekki shooting incident, has rejected witness summons issued to him by the Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry. Jonathan Ogunsanya, the counsel of the witness, said this on Saturday when the case involving the Nigerian Army was called for further hearing on their role at the Lekki Tollgate. Mr. Ogunsoya said Mr. Bello refused to accept the summons served to him, which was sent through a dispatcher. Ibrahim Taiwo, the commander, 81st Division and head Military Intelligence Brigade, earlier explained the role played by Bello, a senior officer of the Nigerian Army, in the Lekki shooting incident. The commander, who appeared before the panel twice to testify on the incident, said Mr. Bello, a lieutenant colonel, was the commanding officer of the 65th Battalion, which was at the Lekki Tollgate on the evening of October the 20th. He said Mr. Bello was the commander on ground who gave the order for the soldiers to shoot in the air and was there to employ non-kinetic, which means non-violent, means thereafter. Addressing the panel on Saturday, Mr. Ogunsoya said a witness summons was also served to Godwin Umelo, the general officer commanding GOC of the 81st Division, who accepted the summons. He was also absent at the Saturday proceedings. It was on the order of this honorable panel that a summon of the witness was issued and served to Major General Godwin Umelo for today's proceedings, and the same was received on the 30th of November 2020, precisely at 6:04 p.m., Mr. Ogunsoya said. While Doris Okuwobi, the chair of the panel, asked for an update concerning Colonel Bello, Mr. Ogunsoya said the dispatch rider was also there, but they refused to accept the service. Prior to that, I sought the cooperation of the legal counsel of the Army on record, who asked to be sent the summons personally. I most humbly wish to make an application that the learned soul, who is the counsel on record in this matter for the Nigerian Army, that his chambers be served with this witness summons subject to the overriding approval of the panel so as to enable us to make progress on this matter, Mr. Ogunsanya said. So there you are. So there you are. So we round it off now with this one. So that's the Lekki Tollgate massacre now. So we can categorically, confidently describe it as that, because that is what the panel that was set up by the government to investigate has reported. It was a massacre. Nigerian judge NYAKO is partial, must recuse herself from Nnamdi Kanu's trial. IPOB lawyer Ifeanyi Ejiofor, lead counsel to the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has moved to ask Justice BINTA NYAKO of a federal high court in Abuja to recuse herself from the trial of his client. He also stated that, contrary to reports, the legal team which he led did not stage a walkout from the court during Kanu's trial on November the 10th, following the refusal of operatives of the Department of State Services to allow some of them to gain access into the courtroom. My client, and by extension the legal team, has no implicit confidence in the court to proceed in this case. So, going forward, we are activating processes to urge my lord to recuse herself from this case so that the chief judge would give a directive to that effect. It is open now. It is open now, even before a layman on the street. It is clear that she is partial. So now let me say this to you. This is a case in which we are representing a race, not Nnamdi Kanu. So do you see what is just said there? So they've now ethnicized this space now. So it's now an ethnic battle. So this is it, and this is what they are predicating the request to have her recuse herself upon. So this is it. It says, so Now, let me say this to you. This is a case in which we are representing a race, not Nnamdi Kanu. This is a case involving Igbos, not Nnamdi Kanu alone. We are representing a race in this case. As sensible, as serious, as serious as this may be, it shouldn't be treated with this sense of levity, he said. Correspondents had on November the 7th reported that Aloy Ejimakor, Kanu's counsel, said Kanu's legal team would take urgent and decisive measures over the arbitrary adjournment of the case. Taken to his Twitter handle last Wednesday, Ejimakor had described the acts of Justice NYAKO at the Wednesday's trial as a travesty of justice. He had tweeted, "I am not happy. The world should not be happy. The judge locked out Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers and refused us entry into the courtroom. She then arbitrarily adjourned the case to January the 19th, 2022. This is a travesty of justice. We will surely take urgent and decisive measures." Correspondents had earlier reported that the trial of Kanu was adjourned to the 19th and the 20th of January 2022. Kanu had, alongside his lawyers, protested the refusal of the DSS to allow some of his lawyers access into the court, particularly the lawyer from the United States, Bruce Finn. Kanu, who was rearranged before trial Justice BINTA of the Abuja Division of the Federal High Court, is facing. Okay, so it then goes on to cite what we already know. So those are the talking points, and Ovie, the only talking head. So Ovie, good to see you.
I'm here.
yeah. Good to see you, Ovie. Is it warm there? So one day we'll see you wearing a winter coat. The next day, but good to see you anyway. So it is now categorical and factual that a massacre took place at Lekki Tollgate, the 20th of October 2020. So let's start from there, Ovie.
I mean, that's what some of us have been saying from the one that yes, it does happen, regardless of how they're trying to twist the story, paint the picture. You know, some of us insist that yes, you know, Nigerians were senselessly massacred that you know, unholy day. And I'm more curious now. Part of me wants to say kudos to the panel for actually doing what they are supposed to do. But again, I don't know. When the report was presented to the governor, what's his name, Sawolu, I think it make a move by setting three-man committee or panel, wherever, to bring out what they call white paper to present to the federal government. So I'm waiting for that. So I'm not going to, you know, I will sympathize with the victims.
Okay, let me give you this this quote first. So it says that officers and soldiers of the 65th Battalion of the Nigerian Army, led by, so I want to make emphasis of this guy's name because it's quite pertinent to know it, Lieutenant Colonel S.O. Bello, and men of the Nigerian police force. So this is what I want you to listen to now. Pointedly and directly shot and killed peaceful protesters at Lekki Tollgate. So this, a panel by Lagos State saying this, pointedly and directly shot at peaceful protesters. Very difficult for them to get away from. Of course, they'll get away from, but that is established now.
Yeah.
There's no equivocation in this matter. There's no them say. I say you committed a crime, and then you tell your own team to go and investigate what I'm saying, and your own team came back and said you committed the crime. There's no equivocation in this anymore.
Yes, I think first for me, first is the victim parents, families, and relations. I think in a way there's a step, it's a step forward to bring closure to their loved ones. Then the bigger picture here is that, as you clearly pointed out, they are named now to what happens. Are they going to be prosecuted? Because people should be held responsible. Those who call the shots, those who actually carry out the shots, even those who are in a position, better position to know better, who are denying it, who are using their influence to make sure that narrative stays. People like Fashola, who all of a sudden become a CIA and discover a camera in the scene, and today he's telling us that he cannot find a camera. And we should, as an authority, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, this is saw upon injury, how they put it. It's like my people say, Oji or Bogbeme are two members that Bishop got Fiamerica. That is Rat said it's not as painful as somebody who just hit him and somebody who wiped it on the ground. The pain is different. That's exactly what you're happening for a man who should know better, an authority that we trust with everything, to come out and say, oh, the camera that he found in the scene as an evidence, you don't know where you keep him again. I mean, that's ridiculous. So people should be prosecuted. People should go to jail. The shooter, the OD, if that is a word, those who do everything within their power to suppress the issue, like Mohammed being their leader, they should be held responsible. Somebody should be prosecuted. Until that happens, as I said, nothing new that the report stated that we don't know before. It's a switch. The innocent girl that the whole world criticized.
They've destroyed her life. That girl. They've destroyed her life.
She's vindicated. So I mean, as I said, nothing new that they've revealed, but what's happened.
Do you know that girl would not have had one night's decent sleep from that date till as I'm talking to you now? Her head just spinning, all manners of paranoia, depression. Yes.
Apart from the trauma of seeing I mate dying.
Yes, fear for our own life.
Yeah, fear for our own life.
Did I actually see it? She was saying that she was actually even questioning if she saw what she saw.
Of course, I mean,
when they are telling you that you did not see what you saw, and you are now almost in the position that did I actually see it? I mean, it's unbelievable.
If Jafar, one of favorite news outlets, quote unquote CNN, could say nothing like that happened, that thing will make you think, actually doubt yourself that am I really okay to be saying what I see with my two naked eyes, and the whole world is saying no, it did not happen. So yes, I'm happy, but at least by now she will find she'll find peace. That yes, a lot of people, a lot of us, fast, even though I don't tend to give credit to those quote unquote celebrities too much. I have to give it to fast. They stood there.
Ovie, let me bring you this. In a 1962 letter, as a last-ditch effort for clemency, Holocaust organizer Adolf Eichmann wrote that he and other low-level officers were forced to serve as mere instruments, shifting the responsibility for the deaths of the millions of Jews to his superiors, that the just following order defense was made famous in the post-World War II Nuremberg trial. So just following orders is the go-to of the army man that goes and kill people. Just following orders is not going to get Fulani S.O. Bello out of this one. No.
Wait, one man, sorry, that name, what's the full name? Are you sure? Because Bello is with the Deram too, it's kind of synonymous.
S.O. Bello. Look, let me hold
with on. The Bello, now common name for my place.
And I know, say you the bear Bello, but this one now Fulani Bello, not your own Bello.
To answer Bello.
Yeah, let's figure out what SO means. We stand for. But yes, I know. That's what you are trying to say. That's exactly what is going to play out. Order then give us.
Oh, okay. Ovid, if you click here, you see the image of the guy, then you know that is
Oh man,
look
that
at
image.
no, look at the guy and tell me if he's from Auchi. Is that an Auchi man or a Fulani? Is that a Fulani man or not?
One man, me, my
Yeah.
people, we be feel like you.
Look at that.
Guy. So one man,
Look
I
at the
will
guy
talk.
now.
No,
I mean,
okay, general, wait, general. Okay,
We know
Ahmed
the see
Taiwo.
him. We know the see him.
The general
uh,
Ahmed Taiwo. Name you sent to me now. This is Ahmed Taiwo,
is this Ahmed
commander of
Taiwo?
the 18th Division Military Intelligence Brigade at Victoria Island, has revealed the role Lieutenant Colonel Eso Bello played. Who is Eso
No,
Bello?
that's the image. It's the picture that I'm showing you, not the article itself. The image, that's the SO below.
General FO, Omotata,
No, forget all. Why do you
Omata.
always argue everything, man? That's the
Wait,
general
no.
telling you. He says, okay, forget all that. You always turn everything into a ridiculousness. That's the image of the guy. That's the SO below. The picture in that article is
But it's
SO
not the only
below.
culprit now. It's not the only culprit. The other
He
general
was
there.
the.
He was the commander. He
No.
was the
Can you?
battalion commander.
He
He
was the
led it.
battalion caller. He led the troops that were on the
He's a
ground.
lieutenant colonel, a battalion commander.
He gave the open fire order. That is the thing. That is the image of the guy on your screen.
Okay. Well, I don't want to give him a national tribe yet. Let's leave it
don't
like
give
that.
him a tribe, but his tribe is obvious. We all know what a Fulani man looks like.
One man, the bigger picture you are trying to paint is that.
Have you frozen? If you are frozen, look at that. You see? That's it. Why would you not freeze when you say I do a Fulani man and you are telling us it's
No, okay. One man,
Eh?
the bigger picture here we are trying to paint is that is he going to be prosecuted?
No. I'm not saying easy, but I'm saying he should.
He should, of course.
He will not, but he should.
Yes, let the white
and,
paper come
out. And that is why I went to Second World War to go and bring you that quotation.
He's sure.
Hold on, Vin. That's why I went to the Second World War to go and bring you that quotation, because their go-to is I was obeying orders.
Yes.
So that went with Nuremberg. So I'm obeying orders is not enough to be going around killing people. So yeah.
So as I said, let's wait for our white paper to come out and see. I mean, we are as good as know what is going to happen. They'll find money to pay the victim, which they deserve, which is not compared to life anyway. But I think that's the best we are going to hear from this people, because the henceforth now politics they will turn on to. How do we now? Because now everybody now will be trying to ally with the youths. Oh, they were right after all.
No, forget the youth. Don't keep saying the youth. They were not killing. They were killing everybody. It's a Nigerian problem. But what I'm wanting to get to is this now should be a seminal moment, a moment that should mark change. It should not be another one of they buy people off, they threaten people off, and they kill people off. This NSAS, it should be internationalized. So that is why we are identifying these names.
Yeah,
and those that people, were to be because that justice will never be gotten in Nigeria. But if it can be it's now established by the Nigerian government that they massacred the people. But the justice is not going to be gotten in Nigeria, because you cannot get justice. I killed somebody and then I will administer the justice. Okay, that doesn't work. So we have to internationalize it. But now we are identifying the names: S.O. Bello, Burutai, Lai Mohammed, Buhari, Sanwo-Olu, the list.
The list goes on, and we just as I said, I mean, nobody with his framework would not we say otherwise that they should not be prosecuted. But as I said, back to the people who initiated it. I mean, as you said, if it's going to stand as a barrier of change of whatever to come, we are not going to let go of people who initiated this, which is the youth. The aim should never be forgotten. The people who are behind this, those who lost their lives, should never be forgotten. So that's where we should be very, very careful before these so-called politicians will start taking advantage of that space. The number is there, everything, because everybody now wants to sympathize with those that stick their ground that it happens. They will stand frontlining there, holding meeting here and there. It is that time for us, the lazy Nigerian youth, to stand up and stay together. We need to start reaching out to those quarters that actually fall for the narrative that such things never happen. I'm speaking directly to my northern youth. It's that time we reach out to them and say, come, we understand the pressure. We understand those who are pushing you guys to be thinking otherwise. Now that the truth is out, we are all victims here. And it is us for us to
forget all these things. That look, Ovie.
One man, I don't go forget.
You're always trying to turn it into a ridiculous.
Well,
mess.
that's me. That's me.
Okay. No, those are your thoughts. And
not coming from thinking like that.
Those are your thoughts.
Yes.
Forget we are reaching out to the northern. You are not even part of the
NSAS
movement.
We will reach out. That's my belief.
You are not part of the
I am not the only one with this belief. But one man, it's okay, and I understand where you are coming from. But
no, you don't. You don't though. But that's just you. It's a more complex. Nobody is changing your mind.
It is more complex. There's no one way to approach it. There's no one way to approach that.
Your mind does not anyway. Let me leave that. That is just how you think, but that is not what is really in play. But let me take you to another talking point.
Sorry, one man said Salisu Bello. That's the Alexandra Akesh is trying to put a full meaning to that name. Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel Salisu Bello.
There you are. Yeah, but the problem is more complex. It's not a generational war. It's not a. It's more complex than just those pedestrian generational. It's not even the Justice Okobi that found the thing. She must be in her 60s, 70s. So the whole process that is anyway. Let me leave that space because I don't think you.
There are no one way to Nigerian solution. There are no one way.
All right.
So many ways.
Okay. All right.
So we'll get it. As I said, that's what I believe.
Let me just take you to a different space because I'm not sure that you fully grasp that. But they're saying the panel recommends renaming of Lekki Tollgate to NSAS Tollgate. They are recommending an apology to the people, and they are recommending that the 20th of October be a toll-free day on that toll gate in perpetuity for as long as toll is being taken in that space. They are recommending that the 20th of October should be a toll-free day on that gate. And they are also recommending a monument or as a permanent memorial listing all the names of the fallen on that day. So what are you making then of those recommendations? So try and be a bit more elegant in your response to this. Yeah.
As somebody who has applied that road, that toll gate for close to 10 years, I did before the toll gate come, I did when it come, I did all the all the fights. Saying they should name that place NSAS, okay, but if that would put an end to the towing, I agree with that. But nobody say you go put NSAS name there, you go see they collect money. Because the victim, people who are from that Lekki, the Agbeju Lekki people, up to today, they no sign up for that toll gate. Because the toll gate did not add anything to that road. They no add journal, they no build no road. They just expand that place just to collect more money. The further you go after, the narrow the road becomes. So if you say they put their name to it, they say they collect money at the expense of. I don't buy that. But if they putting the NSAS name to that toll gate, we permanently put an end to collecting money from that toll. I am with that. But I think there's a better way
I agree with that. Whatever it, yes, because you have to make the decision on what the toll is for. So if you're saying you spent money to build an infrastructure and the government wants to recover that money and you're charging toll, that is not even an argument, but that is still an argument. But then after all these years, whatever it is that they have spent, they should have recovered. So is it now just a revenue generating vehicle just to extort people? Or what purpose is it serving? But I've never driven on it. But if as you describe, it's just a little sliver of a road that they did, and then they put a gate on it to be extorting people. But I do agree with you that those toll booths must come down. They must come down.
What man do?
99 people, how many more people do you want to? That toll must come down. But yeah, UK. Oh, we lost of it.
How you doing?
I'm
How
good.
you doing?
I'm
Yeah,
good.
please, I don't mean to digress from what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
I have a friend from Ghana. So he just came back from Ghana. We are just discussing. So he told me that when he went to a nightclub in Ghana, do you know that they didn't allow him to go inside the nightclub? It was Nigerian. They said Nigerian first before Ghana. Could you imagine? So that thing you are talking about, the great place
Now,
in Ghana.
they know where the money is now. They know where the money is now. All the girls in the club, they've come for the Nigerians. So why
From
would they let
America,
Ghanaians in?
they said they're not going to enter first. No, enter, say Nigeria first before Ghanaian.
They think it's a joke. When the mayor of Accra is a Babatunde, then they will know that we are not joking. When the mayor of Accra is Babatunde,
oh no, one man, it happened before. One man.
We have not come to Ghana to take part. We have gone to Ghana to take charge, not to take part to take charge. We are going to own that country. We will own that country.
Why do you want to take charge?
You want to take Nigeria, you want to take Ghana, but you don't want people to come and take over your place.
Don't worry.
Why do you want to go and take over another country?
To assert our dominion now.
Why you are threatening?
Ghana master.
Why you are threatening? While Erofai, the small Hitler is threatening the Americans that they will go in a body bag. You are coming here. No, it can't happen. You see, but let me tell you one thing. There is an ancestral lineage with Accra and the Ogun State people. So you can't rule that one out. And there is an ancestral link with the one they call Manya Krobo here in Eastern region with the Edo Bini city. In fact, I want to tell you today, there is no time they are doing this festival in Manya Krobo that Oba of Benin will not come. He will come to open it before he goes. And when you look at the history of Ga Adangbe's, their cousins are from Ogun State, Abiyokuta Ogun State, that area. See, so you can't take away that it is just this seed of discord and where you come from or where you did not come from that made it. But remember, after the first Speaker of House of Parliament in Ghana here, one man they call Mr. Quist. The next one, if you check it there, was a Yoruba man.
There you are.
A Yoruba man. That was the speaker, the second speaker after independence. The second speaker of House of Parliament in Ghana was a Yoruba man. You can check it after one they call Mr. Quist. So it has been a long-term thing. If not because you have Togo and Cotonou, Togo and Benin, the Republic of Benin, bordering Nigeria, you will never know who is a Ghanaian or who is a Nigerian from that axis.
All right. Thank you, Vin. So thank you, Vin, and UK. So back to you, Ovie Dead. So yes, I was just saying before your system dipped out that yes, I do agree that what more are you tolling on that space after killing so many people in that space? So I do agree that just the toll booths must come down, but also they are recommending that monuments that day should be a national day and NSAS day, maybe not necessarily a national holiday, but a designation that the 20th of October is NSAS Day. And the lady went on to recommend that they should build sort of like a monument as a memorial listing all the names of the fallen. So to all of that over here.
If we cannot use this moment to turn the fortunes of Nigeria to define the nation that we call Nigeria, I think we fail the people that lost their soul that day. Monument or whatever, it's not going to do a lot to. In fact, it will just remind us the pain of the past. we should be able to galvanize ourselves and use it as a turning moment in our country history. Other than that, I'm sorry, I don't think we are doing anything. We are not doing those people who lost their life in favor. Monument and all this is just
okay, so how do you then propose that that moment be seized as a pivotal point, as a pivotal moment?
You say my way of recommending that is
no, you can recommend it in whichever you like, but it's just I don't feel the sense that you understand the fullness of it. So it's not a generational war.
I am a victim.
It's the Nigerian people. It's the Nigerian people versus the system. Everybody is under the weight of it. So
I am a victim. I'm a victim of the Nigerian state.
Let's not go into
of the Nigerian state. I'm not
okay. Just flesh out.
I'm a Nigerian. Regardless I'm young, old,
so that's the point. But
when you say I don't understand the problem on this thing, that's
because you seem to think there is some sort of generational war or something. If I go to Nigeria, I'll get my head kicked into. I'm not a millennial. I'll still get my head kicked in. They don't care. So we're all victims. Look, I don't even want to go to that space.
No. What you need to understand that it's going to be easier for me to reason with my mates than to reason with people below me or ahead of me. So that's why anytime I'm proposing solution, I'm talking to people that I can reason with. So it has nothing to do against the old or the young. No, these are the people I know I can reason with.
Just speak to the space. Everybody understands.
And the space is a young space. One man is a young space.
All right, thank you, Ovie. Let me move on. It's not a young space, though. How is it a young space?
NSAS is not a young space.
Okay, all right, leave it there. Thank you, Ovie, because you don't get it. That is just
people who die are young people. When one man, people who die are young people.
Look, what is the
victim? They are young people.
Can I interject?
Okay, interject and then take the floor. I'm tired of this guy because he doesn't get it.
Space. I was on this.
It's not a young people space. You don't get it at all.
No, it is a young space.
No, hold on, Adane Koko. You do get, and you're not a young person, by the way.
I don't know. Person, but it is a young people's space.
But it is not a young people's space.
It is. We are the major victim of the Nigerian state.
It is not a young people. It is not a young people.
It is a young people's space.
You don't understand it. This is what you did the last time when you were arguing. This is what you say. You think it's shouting. You think shouting is right and wrong, Gabi.
What you are doing right now,
because you don't want to understand, because you don't want to be exposed.
What are young Nigerians died when they took to the streets?
Can I interject?
Hold on, Adane Koko. You don't want to be exposed.
The narrative you are painting is the same thing that Mohammed is doing.
No, you don't want to be exposed for ignorance. This is what you do.
No, it is not ignorant. No,
it is ignorance. Largely, you always start from a starting point of ignorance and then you try to build on that.
That's a direct insult, one man.
No.
It's not the Nigerian state. You can't tell me I am ignorant. I am a victim.
You're a victim. Am I not a victim? Am I not a victim? Hold on. Am I not a victim of the Nigerian space?
Is not parallel piloted by the Nigerian youth. It's the Nigerian youth space. Don't take it away from them. That's
you're a joker, man. Okay, that's enough. Look, guy. Look, hold on, Adane Koko. Guy, let me address you, man. We're not doing screaming and shouting here. We're discussing serious matters. It's not jumping up and down.
You're trying to mold my voice. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not trying to mold your voice, but I cannot allow you to paint a false narrative.
It doesn't count.
No. You come here. Hold on. You come here to paint a false narrative all the time based on things you don't know about.
Mention one false narrative.
Okay. The last conversation you were trying to paint a false narrative. We were talking about the 400 million something, and you were saying they were fighting for monies that they recovered from the Paris Club.
I still stand by it, one man. I still stand by what I said.
Okay, thank you, V. Let me move on. let me move on. You don't know much, but you insist that you know it all. That is the problem.
Enough to speak
all right.
about
No,
it.
you don't.
Okay.
You don't.
Enough to
You
speak
don't.
about what I'm talking about.
You don't. You don't do. You don't do, and that is the danger.
No, man, that's where you are wrong.
You
That's where
don't,
you are
and
wrong.
that is the danger.
That's where you are wrong, one man.
You don't know, but then you are also determined not to
enough
know.
to speak about what
That's
happened.
the thing. You don't know, but then you are also determined. What do you mean you are part and parcel? Who is not part and parcel?
No, then why are you not telling me I don't know anything about that case?
Who? Name one person.
I never say you don't know anything about that.
No, hold on.
I am speaking for myself, one man.
You are not speaking for anybody. You are not speaking for anybody. You are not even speaking for yourself, you know.
I'm speaking for myself.
No, you are not.
Why?
You are not speaking for yourself.
Who am I speaking for?
No. You are just trying to be obtrusive and to think that you're a rebel. But if you
I am not a rebel, one man.
You are not.
Anything that is not happening here.
No, let me explain something to you, Ovie. NSAS is not a young people's space. It is not. It is nothing to do with any generational chasm.
They were fighting the system.
It's the system, and everybody is a victim of that system. And anytime, every conversation you try to turn it into some generational chasm and appoint yourself as a spokesperson for some generation, oh, forget it, man.
This is the youth against the system. Ovie, you should understand one thing. What happened here is the youth versus the system.
Can I speak?
No, don't, because you just
NSAS. Ask anybody around the world, what would they tell you about NSAS? Young Nigerians took to the streets.
Right.
Young Nigerians took to the streets
and
to demand for justice. If I want to put it in a nutshell.
Justice.
Maybe you should be specific about the.
Why did they go to the street? Why did the young men go to the street? Because of the system.
Justice for whom?
Listen.
Going down,
please.
You know, it's a 25 under movement, and I'm sure Ovie is not in that bracket.
Do you want me to put age bracket to it?
Put the age bracket so that we can.
Do you want me to put age bracket?
Oh, right.
The age between 18 and 35 to the streets, largely 18 to 35.
Look at that. The 35-year-old man that is at home with his family. All right. Thank you, Ovie. No, thank you, Ovie, man. You don't get it.
So what are you saying? Who are the victims of the policers? Who are the likely victims? I don't know Yahoo boys. Who are the Yahoo boys? I didn't know Nigerians.
All right. Okay. Ovie, this is a short spot, so I don't want it to turn into your usual something.
Don't take it from Nigerian. This is Nigerian time. Don't take it from the Nigerian youth.
All right. Thank you. I think I'm going to have to. I cannot have this guy here anymore. It's a disruptive influence. But let me move on from Ovie and go on to. Let me go on to you, Vin. Hopefully, a more sensible conversation from you.
Vin.
Yeah, Vin. Yeah. So just today, it's too important a matter to be turned into some crazed shouting. Him go because he would just do that for the rest of the session, just screaming and shouting and not understanding what is being said. But the panel reporters come out to. The army police massacred NSAS protesters at Lekki Tollgate. So it's categorical now. There's no equivocation anymore. You know, this is what happened. And this is a panel set up by the system. So your response to that, Vin?
It's regrettable that all of us fall within the youth, age bracket and so on. And at maybe Uncle Angelico, let me use that. Let me address you. So it's one of the elderly here. But if I should comment on this issue, I would tell you that the system provoked the youth to go into what the route they took, which came out disastrous to all of us. In fact, I see myself that day, to be honest with you, some people don't know. I was there the night I left around 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Immediately I left, I was still communicating with the people there before the incident started, the shooting started. Supposing I stayed there that night, I could have been, you know, also a victim of that irresponsibility from the security apparatuses that were there, the police and the army. You see, the youth, what the youth is fighting in Nigeria is the system that has held everybody down. You grow from that, you know, from that chain into adulthood, into your, you know, the twilight of your, you cannot still benefit anything from a country that you call your own. It is a system. What I saw in NSAS Lekki Tollgate is the fight between the youths and the system of Nigeria that made, you know, our people so horrible and timid, fearful. You see, so this is what I will call it. For me, one man, I will tell you today, from my own point of view, where I stand, there is no way a lieutenant colonel who is a battalion commander will come out there brazenly to give order to kill people. That order comes from the top.
And by the way, just to what that guy was shouting about, I don't like to talk when somebody is not around to defend themselves, but Chobore is NSAS too. Aisha Yakubu NSAS, NNAMDI KANU NSAS. NSAS is not what happened at Lekki Tollgate. NSAS is the people versus the system. So that is where the conversation is. But if we reduce it to some pedestrian generational war, it's just it diminishes the argument. And
yeah.
the space.
Well, if we get the root of this issue, do you know that some of us that are youth today, in the next, let's say 5, 7, 8 years, will become old people? We grew from that system, from that youthful time into that system to our old age. So that thing is a system. The youth fought against the system that has oppressive system that has kept our people down. This is exactly what is happening in the north. The reason why today you cannot see northern people, the youth, coming out to challenge their people over there, like I witnessed when I was there, was because of the way they were molded. The way they were molded. You cannot, the way they, you know, they streamline them, that you cannot speak when your elderly is talking. You cannot oppose your elderly. You cannot do this, you cannot do that. Even if they ask you to go to do Almajiri, then you have to go and do Almajiri because it is coming from the elders or your people. It's a culture. And these people that are forcing these ones to go into this, their children are in one of the best schools outside, you know, preparing them to come and still oppress those people that they say, oh, it's their culture, let them go. Oh, it's their culture. This is the system that the youth is fighting, not just because it's a youth. Everybody can be a youth. You were a youth before you become an old man. It is a system that you are fighting.
All right. Thank you, Vin. And to the recommendation of the panel to rename the space NSAS at Tollgate, to have a common.
I got that, my brother. I don't. It is not. I am not enthused with those recommendations. For me, I would have suggested that Tollgate be named, yes, NSAS Tollgate, and no toll will be collected from there. It must be free for everybody in order to appease those youths that lost their life there. That is my position on that one. Naming there or saying, oh, it is just for 28th of October of every year, toll free. That is nonsense to me. For me, I would suggest that place must be NSAS and no more, you know, tolls collected from that very place. It is done somewhere. Even in my place here, there's a place where such things has happened here in Ghana. So if they do it in a Tollgate, I don't think it is the heaven will fall.
All right, thank you, Vin. Let's quickly hear from Alexander, who never spends too much time with us. Alexander, you resurfaced this time, not looking especially cheerful. Long day.
No, I'm not happy with the way you treated OVA.
Why is that?
I think you were a little bit too hard on him. We might not agree with everything he says, but he's talking from his own perspective, and I thought you were not very nice to him. That's why you can see the sadness on my face. I think you cut him off abruptly. I think you even you banned him, didn't you?
Yes, I have had to, unfortunately, and I'm sorry that you think I was a bit unfair on him, but I don't think I was, because the quality of conversation that I want to have on this space, that we're talking about serious matters, and sometimes I just recoil when it's being pedestrianized in some manner. We're talking about a system, victimhood. We're talking about important stuff, and it's always narrowed to just some low-level generational chasm, us versus them. It's just the quality. I was hoping to have an elegant conversation, but then again, it always turns into just some pedestrian shouting, which some was. It's not off the back of this. It's just off the back of just noticing that, the quality of conversation that I'm wanting to get. I'm not quite sure that we're both in line.
Yeah, but we refer to him as the superstar of the platform. So I think he brings a totally different take on matters. That's the way I see things. We might not necessarily agree with him, but he's entitled to his opinion, be it right or wrong. But anyway, that aside, I hope everyone is doing okay on the platform this morning. Yeah, I have had a very busy night. I've been working through the night, so I'm rather busy. So that's why I just called in. I heard the hostility in your voice, and I had to come in and say.
No, it was more frustration, because you try to explain and he starts to shake his head and starts to get loud. And even when logic is presented, he wants to double down because he thinks
I think that's called youthful exuberance, isn't it?
Yeah. So he needs to shake it off. You have to be able to take on. I take on board what people say to me, and I pivot my position. If I'm totally wrong, I will pivot my position. You have to be able to pivot your position if you are presented with logic. Just the instance that I was citing to him yesterday. He was arguing with the same fervor that he usually does, that these people that were trying to fleece the Nigerian states, that they recovered money from Paris Club, which they did not factually. And I gave him the trajectory, and he's still talking. So it's just that sort of. It's just too frustrating. You are presented with fact, you are presented with logic, and rather than pivot, you think it's a battle of wills, and you start to shake head and start to shout.
One man. Please, Alexander, can I just interject? You see, my brother. Sometimes, you see, you are like let me use it the way we call it in Ghana here. One man, you are like a West bean. A West bean attracts. You attract a lot of people, a lot of good things and bad things as well. So when we come in there into your domain, at least there are so many things that you are going to get. You will get all sorts of things, but the ability now for you to take charge. In fact, you're not supposed to even be harsh on him. What you could have allowed us, we are in the same. We share in the same problem. I myself was a victim also, and I went to that NSAS protest. I spent 2 days there before I came back, before I returned. Look, what I want to say is this: allow us that were there, that knows this thing that is happening to people, that we are not happy at all, to lecture Ovie in our own responses. We will, make him know that what he is doing is not, exactly what the way it should be. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
Alexander, I am so happy to see you. I'm so happy to see your face.
You know what that means?
What's it?
I say, oh, you're speaking true. You've done very well. That's a gun. I've just spoken
Thank
you,
sir.
Oh, okay. So, let me let you continue with the show. I have some consultation to go for. I don't. Good morning, everybody. Ajele Koko, please calm things down, huh?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
I was trying to interject, you know.
No, one man never does that. When you say, when you talk, especially I notice when you talk, Ajele Koko, what's his name? One man will stop and listen to you. This time around, he just didn't want to listen to anybody. So anyway, let me let you guys continue the show. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Alexander. Thank you, Alexander. Back to you, Vin. So we were just talking about the sort of commemorations that was being recommended by the panel.
Yes, like I said, for me, I wanted an abolition of that place so that whatever, it is not enough. Even they abolish collecting toll from there, it's not enough to appease the blood that was wasted by irresponsible, trigger-happy soldiers. I was once a soldier and I never committed such atrocity, such crime against your own people that paid you, gave you uniform, gave you water to drink in your barracks, give you accoutrement that you use, make your life better, even if it is the Nigerian system is making it not even better for them. But these people pay taxes. The same people that you went in there without, there's what we call rules of engagement. You enter there, you descend from your van, you disembark from your van, like we call it, and you went there, march vigorously, FSMO, full-scale marching orders if you are going to war front, and attack these people. You didn't warn them, you didn't fire warning shot, you didn't announce to them to come down or leave the premises. You did not do anything. The only thing you could do, after looking at them again, waving their flags and everything, singing the same national anthem that they sing also when they go for their Remembrance Day, Army Remembrance Day, and so on and so forth, on Independence Day, and so on and so forth. You march towards them and unleash your live munitions on those innocent, unarmed people. This is where I am very, very bitter on the youths. I have absolute hatred on a government that derives joy in killing the young ones. That is why every young Nigerians set up open up embassies today in Nigeria. People will run away and leave a country. But then how can a country survive in such mess? You unleash your army to go and kill innocent people. Then what we are talking today is recommendation. For that 20th October, they should be toll free and so on. That is utterly nonsensical to me. That place should be abolished. And if that toll gate should be there, should be erected there, it should be toll free from January to December. Nobody should collect toll from there if actually that they want to do something. There's any time when people go there, they will say, yes, why are we not paying toll in this very place? They will tell them, yes, we are not paying toll because of what the army did at that place. That will serve so much. People will remember it. It will be there generation upon generation. As long as this planet exists, we'll come to realize what happened there and appreciate the youths that were there that day, that fought this ugly system that is holding them down. I don't know if anybody shares with my own opinion, but that is my opinion, and that's where I stand.
All right. Thank you, Vin. So from Vin, let's go on to Ajale Koko, just because the pressure of the time on the afternoon sessions. So Ajale Koko, good to have you. So the panel has reported, as we were saying, and it is categorical factual now. They used the word massacre in that report, and they went on to say that the army directly and pointedly shot at protesters carrying flags. So this now, a panel set up by the government, so this now makes a lie of what Lai Mohammed has been trying to feed the world. Ajale Koko, to you.
Hey, good morning, Wama.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody on the platform. We have to give kudos to the government, particularly to the governor of Lagos State that set up that tribunal panel of inquiry. He appointed people of high integrity into that panel, and they did their job very well and came out with reports that is maybe we should call it one of its kind in Nigeria, because for government to set up inquiry and they come out with a report that indicted the government itself, that's indicted the military, the police, and the security agencies for committing murder against peaceful protester in that state. We have to give it to them. We have to thank the governor for the good job the panel is set up did. So the people, it is now clear to us now by that report that people were killed. People were killed. People were massacred. But Lai Mohammed have been lying on behalf of the federal government, lying to defend indefensible, and was accusing CNN for misinformation, and everything has come. I mean, the report has shown to us that the federal government that sent military there, either the federal government or wherever they came from.
Is the federal?
They came in the night. They came for purpose to massacre.
Yeah.
And that is what they did. Just like Vince said that they would have done it in a better way when they got there, carry microphone and talk, try to engage with them, and try to see what they can, how they can do it peacefully. But they came out and started shooting and started killing, and they killed a lot of people, sweat out everything.
Even the 9 or so being identified by the panel, that's an underestimation, because some lady accounted that she saw 7 bodies carried away, and some other guy that they thought was dead that they threw in a truck with the rest of the bodies, he counted 11. So already we are getting towards 20 already, just from those 2 individual accounts.
I have told you on this platform before, the last time that we treated this issue, I said that is the way Nigerian state kill and take away body. I have seen it. This is what I have seen before. During the protest of Abiola, the annulment of June 12th election, they kill a lot of people on Ikorodu Road, and they were picking them as they were killing them. They were picking them. They have truck behind, picking dead body, and they took them away. And we are not seeing up to today. One guy in my area, he came out. He went to Mecca that very year. He's a young guy. He went to Mecca to perform Hajj. He came back. He just went to see, just to look at what is going on Ikorodu Road. The guy was killed and was taken away. His family never seen his dead body till today. Look,
that's Nigeria for you. That's what they can do.
I am telling you, and that is what they did all over Lagos State. All people that were killed were taken away in truck. They took them away till today. Their family could not recover their body.
One man, Angelico, can you just hold your thought there, please? Let me just. Can I just come in?
Yeah. Go ahead.
You see, Angelico, you see, what we are treating here today is a very serious issue. These things has been happening long ago. You see, sometimes when people speak about the the excesses of the Nigerian army, I will sit to myself and I will ask myself, weren't I a soldier too, a warrant officer for that matter? Weren't I? Why didn't I do the same thing? Because when they take these orders, it takes the heart of a good man in uniform to go into a place like that, and you at least micromanage incidents there, and know that any bullet that is fired directly to the crowd will pick up one person and wound another person, because it will go through and hit another. You see, so these are some of the things at close range. Let me just say, very close range, it will destroy a lot of things. And when you are trained this in, and you know that you cannot break life, why are you using the uniform to kill these people? They give you order. You go there, use your number 6, talk to the crowd, they will listen to you. I have done it severally. Nobody died in my own field. Nobody died. Several, especially in Kaduna. Nobody died. And when it became obvious that that is a system that is, operational there, one man, I just have to leave. Thank you, sir.
So, all right. Yeah.
So, they kill, and if what Lagos State have done, Lagos State have done something that is very, very remarkable and something good for the people. Lagos State have stand up on the side of the people, fighting for the right of the people. We have to commend this governor of Lagos State for what he did. The tribunal panel were not influenced by him. He did not allow any big power from above to influence their judgment and their their finding, and for them to come out clean and show it to us, report it to us exactly with fact and evidences, the way it actually happened, indicting the military and the personnel that were involved. I mean, they have done something good for that nation. So their suggestion that these people should they should name that place NSAS Tollgate. I support that. And the monument for their name, to immortalize their name, I support it as well. And I will urge the Lagos State government to bring down the fee, the toll. They should reduce it drastically in honor of the Nigerian youth that came out holding Nigerian flag, fighting for the right of everybody in that country. They should honor them by bringing down the toll fee, and those people that are identified as people killed by the government on their birthday, they should honor them by making it toll-free day. No payment, any vehicle passing through that toll.
Well, I think what people are suggesting is probably they should just remove those toll booths. What it stands for now is just too, it's too painful for the Nigerian space because everybody that drives through there, if you go to Nigeria today at Jande Koko and you drive through Lekki Tollgate, the only thing you remember is the massacre. So that's the only memory now that's. But the money, they will never give up the money, because as long as they can rob people, they will continue to rob people. But they should bring down those toll booths, as Avin was suggesting.
I want the name, the toll, to bring it down, to close it down, that the government will not do because it's a source of revenue for them. But if they bring down the fee, the toll fee to a various minimum amount that is affordable to everybody in commemoration of people killed, that will be very remarkable. And if they can, on their birthday, and make it toll-free day, everybody that are identified as killed on their birthday, it should be free. And the family should be compensated hugely. And the children, the state government should be responsible for the education of their children, to give their children scholarship to read to any level they want to have education. They should sponsor their education, give them scholarship, and that is what they can do. Let us see it, because what Lagos State did, it is commendable, and the government have to stand clean all the time. Anytime they have done something wrong, they have to come out clean and tell the nation that yes, we are wrong, and people that are involved in committing atrocity against the state should be punished. And that is how we can bring sanity.
And Ajahn Lekoko, I'm saying that NSAS will be the epitaph of this administration, the abiding memory. This is the one, because as you remember Babangida regime and the one word you think corruption, the abiding memory of the Buhari administration is bloodbath, and that will be signified by NSAS. So that will be how we will remember that space.
Can I say something?
Yeah, come in, UK.
Yeah, and this NSAS is gonna cost APC a huge loss. You see, this NSAS is gonna cost APC, but that party is gonna cost them, That's what I want to say.
The blood of the innocent will not even allow them to stand anymore.
How is it going to cause them a big loss in the election?
Because it was during the regime that this NSAS happened, and the president didn't really address it, or any of the party. They did not. They were shy. If not the Lagos State. Lagos State take the responsibility, to make sure that all these things come out like this. Is it not like Mohammed? It's not like Mohammed. Like Mohammed is like Mohammed. It's not in APC.
UK. Yeah. Even after the killing, after the president, because such order will not come from a divisional commander. Such order cannot come from a brigade commander. Such order cannot come from a governor. That order to go there and do what they're supposed to do, as long as I was a military man, comes from the presidency. Go and see what you can do. And when these people came, they came gun blazing. That is it. So for me, the question I will ask these people is this now. Lai Mohammed, what is Lai Mohammed going to say? Since it has been proven, what is he going to say? Old man that has nothing to say about from lying against overwhelming evidence.
Yes.
Thank you, bro.
You are right. We are identifying this army officer S.O. Bello as the one that said open fire. I think even the army pointed him that he was the one. Commander 65th Division that was on the ground. Was the commander on the ground, was what the army said. But I don't think he would have said open fire without authority. And I don't think anybody could give that authority without it escalating to the toppest of the topmost.
Yes.
So
I will tell you how they give the order. I will tell in the due course of one man, I will tell you how they issue those orders. Just continue. At the end, I will tell you how they issue such orders.
All right. Thank you. So Ajahn Lekoko, address that.
I want to agree with Vin that the order came from the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, and that is why you see Lai Mohammed defending the indefendable, the lying and telling the world that nobody was killed. He said it was it was lying and accusing CNN that reported it, and he was doing his job to defend the federal government, to defend the commander-in-chief. Otherwise, he wouldn't have mentioned anything about it. But they knew what they did, and that is why Lai Mohammed was defending the federal government. The order came from above. But Lagos State have done well for that nation, in spite of the fact that they are in the same party. Lagos State governor and the president are in the same party, but Lagos State governor, what is his name? It's Sanwo-Olu. We have to give that to that guy. That guy is an honorable guy.
People are fighting for their reputation and their future,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah, the future. This could end up, like you said, one man, it could end up in vague.
Yes.
We don't know what is going to happen in the future.
Yes, people are fighting for their reputation and their future, because this army chief that very quickly pointed out that no, it was this S.O. Bello. He was the commander in charge of that space. So they were trying to point at him, and he, of course, being a Yoruba man, so he had to quickly move and identify that no, I may well be the face that you see, but the commander on the ground was this guy S.O. Bello. So he made a point to tell that panel that it was
They would deny him.
S.O. Bello that you know, because
they would deny him.
of course now, because they know that there's life after Buhari regime. Buhari will come and go, but they will still have a long life to live, and this question will still hang. So people are moving quickly to it, and this is what Sanwo-Olu is doing as well. That look, panel, go and investigate it. I didn't give anybody any instruction to kill anybody. So he's fighting for everybody, fighting for their names. So,
that's it. You know, people have been, you know, before now, and when that incident, people were accusing Sanwo-Olu that he was involved, that he was the one that called military, was the one that gave them order and stuff like that. But this guy has done a good job with this report we had. That look, my hands are clean. I'm not involved. People that are involved, these are they. So I mean, he has done well, and the nation should. This is what we want to see in our country.
I have a question for you guys.
My question. Hold on, UK. Let's hear from Insibidi, who we've not really heard from. So let's hear from Insibidi. Come in, Insibidi.
I agree with you when you say we did everything in appointing, you know, in setting up that commission. I don't know if he was the one. Is he actually the one, or is he the federal government? But if he's the one,
no, it was a Lagos State panel. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. But I will not go very far saying he has shown his hand is clean and all that. But whatever he did, I won't go that far, because he's the same person that when he was going around the hospitals, he came up and said that one person was killed, 3 people are injured, you know, so all those type of things. So for us
that is what you saw there now.
Yeah, that was the report they gave him now.
I'm not arguing that he did not do well in setting. I'm saying that when we let us not over make it as if
let's not exonerate him.
Yeah, please.
They are the same.
All right. So UK, you wanted to add?
Yes. My question for everyone on the platform: what do you think this APC, you know, about this 2023, based on all these reports and all this founding that they have made concern about this Lekki Tollgate massacre?
Yeah, it'd be difficult for them to declare that they won Lagos State, but then of course they would declare it because. But you know, I don't know, Ajalekoko, what do you think?
Just like you said, look, it's going to affect them. People will use this report to campaign against them. But Sanwo-Olu as a person can stand out to say, yeah, I did what you people expected. I am not playing politics. This space belongs to you. Do whatever you want. My own job as a governor, I will not allow criminality to take place in Lagos State. I will not allow innocent people to be killed. I will not allow the right of people to be violated. And that is what I am for. So the politics apart, personality, his own integrity is more important to him. So people can go and vote any way they like. It doesn't matter. And that is what we have seen in the country that we live. Anytime anything is done wrong, they will take it up immediately and do justice. Where you don't get justice, you will not see peace there.
Yeah,
so what this guy has done now, people will calm down and they will expect justice to take place. And the only justice that can take place in this issue is that these criminal military men that are involved, that kill people, should be tried.
Must be arrested and
they should use the fullness of the law against what they have done. If they deserve to be killed, they should be killed. If they deserve to be sentenced to jail, they should be sentenced to jail. We need justice. That is the only thing that can bring peace. When there's no justice, there's not going to be peace. So someone who is trying to tell us that there's going to be justice, and that is why he set up this panel, and they came out with a report that will give him the way for prosecution. There's going to be prosecution. People will be prosecuted. This is not going to go free, because this is where the human rights lawyers and people that knows law, they will take it up from here. Because this report has to be made public. We have to see it. We will be able to get it and go through it, and then use what we are going to use out of it for justice. So I give kudos to him for leading, for showing that, yes, some people we still have there in that country that can still do a good job, that can still stand for the right of the people. He has done a good job. I commend him. And if he's listening to us, I want to tell him that we have to give it to them whenever they do good job. Politics apart, forget about the politics. They can play their dirty politics, but when they do good things, let us stand with them.
You know, Ajan Lekoko, just talking about doing a good job. Sanwo-Olu was managing that entire space reasonably decently up to the point of Lekki Tollgate. I'll give you an instance of why I said that. There was a clip that went around. This guy, he went with his car and he stood in the car in the middle of those people demonstrating and he was talking to them. I'm not sure if you saw that video of him during that.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, he was in the heart of the young people demonstrating to say, tell me what it is exactly. I understand, but you know, just that handsome thing, they could literally touch him. They could have harmed him if they wanted to. So yes, he put himself in the heartland of it and say, yes, I am with you. How much more is I am with you than to be in the middle of them when they are demonstrating? So he was like you said, he was doing, yeah.
And he asked for their request. Yes. What did they want? He collected the envelope, and on that very day, the next day, he was in Aso Rock to deliver that envelope, their request to the president. That this is what these young people want in Lagos State. This is what they want. He took it to him. Even like you are saying, one man, when he was in the midst of this guy talking to them, you know, that is when one of them, when he was talking, they couldn't hear him. They said, Sorosoke. That was where the slogan of Sorosoke started. That was the emanation of that Sorosoke. And, you know, he did what he got to do. He stand for the people of the state. He did not want that. If this criminal did not kill people at Tollgate, the laws that were recorded in Lagos would have prevented. They burned down several buses of Lagos State. And each one of those buses cost 100 million naira. And they burned over 50 or 80 something buses. They burned what's the name of this TVC. They burned down so many places. Lagos recorded over $1 trillion, trillion naira loss.
Ajaliko, can I say something?
Private and government.
Yeah.
It was a big loss. So this criminal, when we have criminal in uniform that can cause harm in the government, they should be punished. They should be punished. These people, we need justice. They should be tried. We should see the way they are tried. You see, this inquiry was conducted openly. We watch it on TV. This is a way civilized nation, civilized society operate. We have to.
It'll be interesting to see how Lai Mohammed comes out. You expect him to come out later today or tomorrow to tell the panel where is the body. Ajale Koko, from the account that we just read, they said they swept up all the bodies, but then you know what they then did, which somebody might well have to account for. They then got the Lagos State Environmental Service to take their trucks out to wash away the blood. You know, so they took away the body and they got the road cleaners to wash away the blood on the spot. So this is what Lai Mohammed is predicating his confidence upon. That where is the blood? Where are the bodies?
Okay. Now they have discovered the report said
and it's the Lagos panel that said that.
Yeah. Let's see how Baba Lai Mohammed. Let's come and hear another lie that he will come out with. He will just embarrass himself, embarrass their criminal administration, and but the fact and the truth of the matter is out now. We thank God for. I mean, we have to give kudos to Sanwo-Olu for doing this good job for us. We just need justice. That is the main thing now.
Oh, all right, thank you, Ajale Koko. Ajale Koko, for instance of time, let me go on to Nsebede. So, Nsebede, you've heard the conversation, the Lagos State panel reports, and they've told us now in their report the word massacre. So, it's now factual, categorical. They've given us body counts as well. So your comments on that, Nsebede?
Oh, they've okay, thank you. They have given us body count.
Well, yes, they I think they said 11 bodies thereabout. Yeah.
Oh, so it's keep on dropping every time. I think what they're doing is giving people bits of truth so that they don't look totally stupid and all these things, you know, because the number have been dropping from the beginning of these things, because you know there are some things that they cannot blatantly come out and say it's a lie when there is a clear evidence and everything. So you'll find them telling you all these small numbers, so that it's just the same way they are reporting things happening in the north, in Kaduna, and just everywhere. If 500 people, or let's say 100 people are killed, they'll come and tell you about 20-something people.
I think they gave us the figures that they could account for. That's not to say that's the totality of it, but they sat on the panel, and that was what was reported to them.
That's how they keep the country moving forward, because if they report these things exactly the way it is, or like all these things we are saying, that they burn buses and they burn, you know, in some countries where things are, where revolution takes place, or where people really come out, all this, in fact, the government house will not be standing. But we are not pushing for all that. So what we are saying is that these people, as much as we will say they've done at least something, because to be honest with you, I can never say that these people have done a lot. They've done something. They've not. They've admitted that there was a wrongdoing on the part of the government. That's
what they've gone against the government's position, which is unusual within the Nigerian space.
But it's easy. It's easier to get away from a situation that you know, like allegedly, or should I say, a situation that they are claiming that killed 9 people. It's easier to get away from that situation than to admit that probably like more than 50 people died. So it's how, okay, for us not to go too deep into or for me not to sound too how is it called? Is it pessimistic or what? Let's agree that yes, they did something good by admitting or by making the government take some kind of responsibility but also let us not, because people have there's a lot of stories, but the only reason why people cannot really challenge their, their figures so much is because, though, like what you're saying, like Mohammed will start asking, where is the blood, where is, and when they have already done all, washed the streets, carried people away, threw some people in the lagoon. So yeah, let us hope that and like what is it obvious said before the whole thing erupted, what they did there, what they should do, because it doesn't make too much sense until they are supposed to just remove that toll gate there, or maybe if
Yes.
they want to have like
Yes.
if
That
they
toll
want
gate
to,
should not be there.
yeah, if they want to have like a security whatever, yeah, but not like paying money for anything, nothing should, in fact, that's how they do the main remembrance. And it's so funny that a government that is still presently, uh, in power is the one that. So how will they even do all of that? Maybe we'll wait for the next government to come. Then maybe if it's an
Yes,
opposition government.
if there's an opposition person take over Lagos State, the first thing, because he
Yeah,
knows that that will be a populist move, the first thing that
exactly,
that person will do will be to bring down that toll gate. In fact, the governor will symbolically go there and throw the first hammer at that gate.
exactly,
That toll gate cannot continue to be there.
exactly, and that's what this what's the name of this lady? DJ. Is it
Switch.
DJ what? DJ Switch. Yeah, she had. I think by now she's been given that asylum to Canada. She was doing this TED talk and she was saying all of these things. And one thing I give kudos to that girl is when they turned the whole thing around and tried to make her story look so stupid, she kept on hammering on the same thing that they kill people. She was there, she carried people, and people thought she wanted to just make noise and get into Canada. But and it's unfortunate. And to be honest with you, as much as I would like to give kudos to whoever was doing uh, these inquiries, the panel of inquiry and all that. Do you think if this thing had not been, if there was no backup from the international community, whether by media or by government statements of other nations, these people will not have that confidence to do their job? But once they're telling you that even recently, CNN confirmed it again, or is it American government that confirmed it again that yes, there was that and they killed people there. So it would be so stupid for somebody in Lagos to now come out and say no, because now, okay, to be honest, they are good. They try to do their job with some kind of humanity. That's why they are able to come up with that. But if not for this international recognition of what happened, they will not have that confidence to come out with any result that is implicating or that is making the government take some kind of responsibility.
So that is what I'm saying in CBD, that for us to get any justice in that Lekki Tollgate space, we have to internationalize the narrative. Because
Yeah,
if it is like Mohammed that will give you justice, you never get justice within the Nigerian space. But if they internationalize it, as you said, then we might get some
that's
results.
the only
Because
way it
yeah,
can go, and that's the reason why. For example, I'm sorry to use this as an example because I know we are not talking about the eastern side right now. But the reason why these people have not gone to the east with physical guns and looking for everybody that is IPOB member and bringing them out or probably killing them or whatever is because the international community has not uh, uh, declared IPOB a terrorist organization. So to have that international um, uh, backing or alliance, it's very important because it seems that's the only thing that works. That's the only thing that the Nigerian government can probably. That I think that's the only thing that can restrict them somehow. If not,
because within the Nigerian space they act with impunity, they act at will, and they walk away
exactly,
from it. All right.
exactly.
All right, thank you, Nsibidi. From Nsibidi, let's go on to UK. So UK, thank you for staying with us. So the answers, but also the second story, the NNAMDI KANU team, they are insisting that BINTA NYAKO, the lead judge for the NNAMDI KANU case, that she has to recuse herself for reasons of being partial and biased. And they are citing examples of how she seems to weigh against NNAMDI KANU's case and his counsel, and of course her. And the other thing that they added, which is a new dimension, they are saying it's not Nnamdi Kanu's trial; it's actually a race trial. So, what is your understanding of all of that, UK?
Yeah, what I want to say, I don't like the way they prolong this case. You know, when you want to, since it's a very high profile case, that case should be an open case, and that case should be a case that will be tried in a very short time. You know, to see what, you know, instead of prolonging, because prolonging means there's something they are covering up, you know, because if you say this man is, you know, the man is did all manner of things, and that they have to try him, that they have some charges on him, why don't you come out and start the case immediately than this almost getting to 6 months, you know, based on the time the rendition him.
You know, of course, in January they will simply just adjourn it again. That's
so
going to be the narrative.
Which means they are looking more trouble, because the more you are enjoying the case, which means the state itself is committing a crime too. Because if say this man have committed something, come and try it openly. Let everybody see. You know, let's see. You know, all the charges you have been leveled against him. Come and begin to do them one by one. You know, let it be an open something that everybody will be there and witness. Even if not everybody will be there, let it be something that even if to televise it, they televise, so that if suddenly that he was, all those charges being a level against him, you know, he fought for it, then he will be sentenced to jail. Whatever thing they want to do him, let him do it. But if not, as a state, because you have the justice, you have the judges, you have everything, you know. But why are you still prolonging the case as if, you know, Nigerian people, are you keeping everybody, you know, like as a fool? You know, you come today, you said the thing have the adjournment. What kind of adjournment is that one? Is it how to try somebody in that kind of caliber? Or, you know, that's my own opinion, you know, about what is going on. If you want to try person, you know, try it the way it should be tried. You know, even if somebody kills somebody, you have to still try the person. Not okay. Just for instance, let's say he kills somebody. Like that. Everybody is. Do you think that they'll be trying this case like this?
And as you know, they say justice delayed is justice denied. You know.
Yes.
Because if you hold him in custody for in perpetuity and then they find him not guilty, then how do you then account for that long period that you've held him incarcerated, denied him his liberty? But to the answer space, UK, your thoughts, the panel report.
My thought for that answers, you see, like Mohammed, Mohammed must go to jail because he deceived the Nigerian people, the Nigerian citizen. You know, he deceived everybody that nothing happened. Then said they didn't kill anybody, but now. So based on the result we have, he should be in jail because he lied. You know, he must go to jail. That man must go to jail, you know, because he lied to the population, you know, that nothing happened. He lied to the international community that there's nothing happened. So which means basically we are running on a false government. You know, the government nobody can ever believe the government, whatever thing they say, even if it is right or wrong. You know, nobody will believe them because they already lied.
The government is anti-people. This is the thing. You know, and a lot of governments are anti-people, but just in the politics of which they are. But the Nigerian government under this Buhari administration, they are knowingly and wittingly anti-people. They exactly set out to be against the people because all they are there to do is just to assert power and to loot and pillage, and that's just, it's an anti-people government that we have in Nigeria.
Yes, so for me, like Mohammed, and again, that tollgate should be demolished. That place should be like a kind of, since it's tollgate, they shouldn't tax anybody. They should just put emphasize this thing, to commemoration, because there's a blood on that land. So they shouldn't collect anything. That road should be open, widely open. I mean, it should be dedicated to those people who were killed on that distance, because since most of them that lost, we didn't see them, So that place is their own grave now, because we didn't know, because they died there. Nobody know where they take them to. So that place should be.
What they are claiming is that they took the body to their Ikoyi place, and
let them go and find the body. Let them go and find the body.
It's been incinerated. That's the thing.
No, they can't do. You can never incinerate anybody's body, because to identify those bodies is very, very easy, because all the family that their children, we are lost.
They burnt it to ashes. They
can't burn it. I mean, why will you burn something to ashes? Why the panel we are still going on? I mean, is it how a good society behave? Why will you burn to this thing? You should leave those people until this case finish. Then people can go and identify their people. For the fact.
Keyword, a good society.
So Buhari had a good society. I've never heard those two words used together before.
Yeah. So a good society is supposed to keep. So for the fact those bodies were lost, so you see that particular place those people die, that should be their burial ground. So in a burial ground, they shouldn't be collecting tax. So that place should always, because even if they start collecting tax, believe me, the kind of accident that will be happening there, the kind of accident that will be happening in that toll, if they don't use it the way we are talking now, they will see, because there's no way you can kill blood. Then that blood, they didn't atone for that. There was anything to show that a remorse, or to show that this blood they kill here, to compensate or to make sure this. I mean, nothing like Tollgate Plaza. They should demolish it and use it for something distinct. For those people, they spill their blood on that floor.
All right. And UK, George Blue Shell is asking where you are from. A proud Igbo man, but where in Igbo land, he wants to know.
I'm from Abia State. I'm from Ohata local government, yeah.
So there you are, George. So that's for you. So thank you, UK. So we go on to CN. CN, to you. Are you still with us, CN?
I'm from Abia State.
I'm right here.
Good to have you, CN. So you know what the talking points are. The panel reports, and it is categorical now that a massacre did take place at the toll gate. The word massacre even used in that report. Your thoughts?
Good morning, one man. Ajale Koko, good morning. Greetings from Boston here. One man, I think we have something good this morning, as you read it out to us to write home about. I am glad that at this point the state government have done the needful, agreeing with the Amnesty International, and you can see how all Nigerians were stunned after the police and the soldier brutality, but our mindset were divided when Lai Mohammed came with the different narratives, even flouting the reports from CNN and all the other news medias. But today, I will acknowledge that we have something to write home about. And what this tells me, by my own speculation, is that I see Shawolu, I think he has ambition in his political aspirations. He's a young man, so he wants to do things right the way he should, because he wants to remain in the political arena. And the best way is what he's doing right now, flouting, disagreeing
to agree with the other politicians like Tinubu and Lai Mohammed. So he came up with a very valid report that collaborated with the Amnesty International, which is pretty good. This is what we are looking for. And I want to give him kudos.
All right, thank you, UK. And to the suggestions on the way forward that the 20th of October be displayed a national day, not so much a public holiday, but that's a day dedicated to that event. They suggested that the 20th of October should be a toll-free day on Lekki Tollgate, but even in this conversation, people are saying that those toll booths now have to be brought down, and then a monument to commemorate the names of the fallen to be situated within the vicinity of that space. So the way forward, what are you making of those recommendations, CN?
I totally agree with everyone saying that the toll gate should be abolished. I believe that that spot should not exist at all, because it's the same people who would have paid that toll gate were the people that you killed. So why should it remain? So the best they can do as a follow-up is to dismantle the toll gate and find a way to memorize the victims of that toll gate. And I agree also with National Day for the victims.
Brilliant. And finally, to the NNAMDI KANU space, is lawyers are saying essentially that the judge, BINTA NYAKO, she has to recuse herself, which is to mean to step herself away from the case, because they consider her to be partial and biased. Partial because she seems to favor one counsel over another, and biased because the NNAMDI KANU team are saying that the case is not so much about NNAMDI KANU, it's a race case. It's the Igbo race versus the Nigerian government and by extension the Fulani race. So they're saying it's a race case, and she, of course, part of the parties of that race, and they're also pointing to what they deem her partiality and requesting that she recuse herself. So do you think she should recuse, BINTA NYAKO?
I'm not going to suggest otherwise, because you can see that Binta is not entirely independent of the case, and she's compromised. Why do I say that? Because her hands are tied by the federal government. So, and the best could be the suggestion of the NNAMDI KANU's legal team for her to recuse herself, so that justice could be done to this issue rather than the constant postponement. And they are doing all this because that's the only narrative they have now, instead of doing, administering justice the way it should. It's quite unfortunate.
All right, thank you, CN. Are you driving? I can hear traffic in your background.
No, I am just seated somewhere here.
All right. Good to hear from you again. So thank you,
Thank
CN.
you. Thank you.
So we go to Vin finally, and then we round up after that. Vin, you wanted to describe to us a chain of command, which you said you'll give it to us later. So give us that chain of command.
Yes, one man, when I participated, verily in the Sharia riot in Kaduna. Like I told you before, the Sharia riot in Kaduna started after Friday prayer, what they call Juma prayer, on Friday at Kawo bus stop in Kaduna. That time I was a quarterguard sergeant. That time I was a sergeant at 1 Mechanized Infantry Division. So majority of the people that day, although they were these ones were violent when they approached the 1 Mechanized Infantry Division. And before that time, so many people had been killed, by these rioters. So even upon that, nobody was killed from our own side, especially where I was. Nobody was killed. Arrests were made. And when that thing happened, there was a signal. The man that was in charge, the police commissioner in Kaduna, did not do anything because it was considered as a civil protest, religious riot or something like that. So the police were expected to contain it. But this thing, spread. People's lives were lost, properties were burnt, so many things happened. Then a call was, put through to the commissioner of police. The commissioner of police said, oh, nothing like that was going on until an instruction came from the presidency. That's Obasanjo then. That was 2000. So the chain of command, immediately that instruction came from there, then the police now said that they are unable to, contain these protests, that it has become violent. Then the army was called in. And when the army called in, based on my particular place where I was by AOR, area of the responsibility, I did what I was supposed to do as a professionally and conventionally trained armed soldier. So I did what I should do, and everything went dead. If you hear that so people were killed during that Sharia protest,
what did you do, Vin? What did you do that calmed down the situation?
You see, at Kawo bus stop, what I did was to speak to them in Hausa. I spoke to them in Hausa, first in English, and I spoke to them in Hausa, and they still wanted to go on. What I did was to fire warning shot. When I spoke to them extensively. It took me almost 45 minutes to calm these people down, and it took a patient officer to do what I did that day. And I even thank God that nobody died. I did not. Nobody died, because of in a situation where I was, responsible for. So I was grateful to God. I spoke to them in English first. I spoke to them in Hausa. I even called my second in command to speak to them in and some of the local languages, and they were coming down. That stick and everything that they were carrying, they were dropping them down. And once I began to make progress, what I did was to go close to them, and secure their confidence. I went close to them, then I spoke to them, then they left. And that was how even a shot was not fired within that period, within my AOR, area of responsibility. That's exactly what I did. And now, the reason why I am doing this now, I'm saying this because the overzealousness of the young soldiers or the commanders that you have right now. I don't think a nation, soldiers that cannot fight insurgency in your own country, that are not properly equipped, that anger is there. When they see their colleagues, their comrades killed because they were not properly equipped, it gives them, it sends a very horrible signal. I do not know whether you people will understand what I'm saying. There are some times when we go to a war in a front like that, you are not fed. Sometimes you might not be fed. The whole day you won't be fed. When they come the next day, they give you food that will not even satisfy your dog in the house, or even your dog can even eat it at all. So that anger is building in the soldier that is in the war front. The anger is building in the soldier, and after that, once the soldier has the opportunity to come to town, he will unleash that kind of, civilians suffer what we call, it's transfer of aggression from the soldiers on what accumulated, maltreatment given to them, to the civilians. That is what is happening. If you look at the police too, go and see where they are staying. That is why someone suggested for psychological tests, and when you are sending these people, these are real. It happened. You don't expect someone that has not been eating, has children, to go to and come out with a clean heart to meet you as a civilian on the street. It is horrible. It takes a patient and a well-disciplined From home. What I'm telling you now is from home. A well-disciplined soldier from home to do what you want them to do when they come out. But that order of going down there, the thing got to this the presidency. Let me use this president because it might not be the president. It might be the NSA, the security chief of the advisors, and all of them there, the DMI, all of them, the Directorate of Military Intelligence, the other way, the police, IG, and all the rest of them. They are aware of what happened there that day, and the information got to them. But they will now call the governor of Lagos State to find out what is happening. And if they see, oh, these people, they are hostile, they will tell them, do what you can do. This is the instruction. They will not go after and tell you, say, go and kill. They will tell you, do what you can do to disperse them. And when you come in there, an impatient officer comes in there with that power, go and do what you're supposed to do. When they come in there, there's nobody that will give you the instruction to kill anybody. Nobody will give you instruction to go and kill anybody. Do what you can do to move them away from there. And what they can do to their own discretion is to fire into this. That is why I said, you see, that Lieutenant Colonel, that Bello must be punished. He must be held accountable, and he will give us the people that asked him to go and slaughter those innocent youths.
All right, thank you, Vin. Thank you for that insight, and thank you all, gentlemen. Vin, Ajanle Koko, UK, CN, and CBD. So thank you. We'll round off here because we've exceeded the 2-hour mark. I will reconvene in the evening as we usually do to carry on the conversation. So I'll leave it here. And sorry about the rockers, by the way, everyone. It does get like that sometimes, as you know. So I'll leave it there. Carry the conversation on with you in the comment section. But here, I say,
peace. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, Vin.